cloud and what is cloud. So, before cloud computing came into existence, we need to know what was happening before and why we have chosen cloud for today's world. So, before cloud computing came into existence, if we want to host a website for our own purpose, for business or any related activities, and a person who wants to host a website, he has to buy a stack of servers. He has to maintain all those servers with a cooling agent. He has to monitor it every time, and he has to look for some higher traffic. If there are more servers, more traffic will be there, and there be some crash and all. So we have to look and maintain and support every service that has been bought in order to host a website. So the advantages is little less, okay, and the disadvantages is more, like buying it, using it, it's very expensive. And mainly, what if the server goes down, or when the server is up it's okay, or when the server goes down, we have to troubleshoot, and we have to find what are the issues that has been happening, and we have to troubleshoot and find the issues like related to infrastructures, and it is very difficult to identify also. So as I said, the traffic, it'll be more, say suppose we are accessing a website like Amazon or Flipkart. Morning time it'll be like the processing speed and everything will be fine, and the afternoon hours also it'll be okay. So evening time, it'll be a little higher, the traffic will be higher, because so many people will do shopping in the evening time, or after 6, like that. So even during the celebrations time, like Diwali or Christmas, we'll buy so many online things due to some offers, and also they have to maintain the servers, right? So whenever we want to host a website, we'll face all these issues. So the traffic, which I said, it is not going to be the constant, okay, so it will fluctuate sometimes. So there were so many issues before, okay, and the amount of data which is being generated nowadays, it's huge actually. So everything is big data. So whatever applications we take, the healthcare or government or business, whatever we take, everything is data nowadays. So that is the reason the person or the business people, whoever wants to access all these data and have it with them and upload something into their local machine, they face so many issues with regards to the servers. So that is the reason they produced something called cloud computing, okay. So computing is nothing but working with a computer, and cloud computing is something like a network of remote servers will be hosted over the internet. So it can be used for processing, storage, or managing things, okay, without using the local servers, okay. So that is the reason cloud has become very popular, and everything, as I told, like it is online nowadays. Everything is done with the help of internet. So the files we access, the files, documents which has been created in the healthcare sector or universities or schools or business, whatever, they maintain so many files and documents. The music we download, or we have it in the Amazon Prime, or videos we have it in our online thing. Everything is like data. So ebooks, during this COVID-19, so many are using this ebooks and applications, podcast, everything is digital data. So where do we store this? Where do we get this from? Everything is a question mark, right? So that is where the cloud computing came into existence, okay. A lot of data, where to store it, and really they are facing problem by saving it in the local drive, hard drive. Everything is out of space. When you put all these datas into your local machine, for sure it is going to be very slow, or the performance will be very slow. So instead of that, what if they provide something where we could go store it and then access it whenever we want? So limited space was there in the local system, okay, local machine before. And because of that, the business people, or mostly they all started using this digital data to be moved to somewhere place, okay, the cloud, the unlimited space. Okay, so we have service provider, consumer, and broker. We'll see to that later. So as of now, we are putting all these digital datas into this cloud, where you have unlimited space provided by the service provider. So what they do here is like a group of people, okay, and organization, they get the resources, store it, process it, and manage it. Okay, so I told you they are getting it from the cloud service providers. Cloud service providers is the one who is going to provide all these datas. Okay, so all these servers, or memory, or cpu, whatever it is, the resources you're asking for, it is being provided by the service providers. So some of the top service providers are Google, Amazon, IBM Cloud, Microsoft. So many people are there, service providers are available. Okay, so they have their own data centers. Okay, so data centers in the sense, it is a huge area. It will be in the non-residential area, where they have a slack of servers maintained by them. Okay, and they provide those servers to all the consumers who is requesting for. Okay, so that way, like what if we take this scenario, we have a server for hosting our website in our location. Okay, so I told you we have to maintain and do all the things for the servers. Okay, and the other side, you have something called a server, which is being provided by someone. So just like renting it. Okay, so you get the servers only when you're in need of. Other time you just don't need it, so you don't use it. Okay, so that way, it there will not be any burden for you to maintain all those things, and even cost wise it will be low. Because what if we buy a server for a large amount of money, and what if we buy the server from online using internet from the service provider with lesser amount. Okay, so obviously everybody is gonna opt the second option, that is buying the server from someone else and use it whenever you want to, and just let them go when you don't want it, right? So that way you reduce the cost. So that is the reason the cloud computing is called as pay as you go model. Okay, so pay as you go model in the sense, only for the resources, or the servers, and memory and storage and processing, only for those things which you are doing will have to be paid, otherwise you don't have to. Okay, so what if you need that server for just a month, for running your application or hosting a website to do some promotions for your business? You just use that server for only 1 month by paying some dollars, or INRs to the service providers. You just rent it, do it, and then let them go. Okay, and one more very important thing you have to know is, it can be accessed anywhere, anytime. Because I told you, like cloud computing, it's all about having it everything online with the help of the internet. So obviously it can be accessed anywhere, anytime. Okay, and this that the even though this will be a major advantage for cloud computing, it also have some disadvantages in them. And hope you got that in your mind. Yes, obviously it is going to be the security issues. Okay, the security issues in the sense, since everything is stored online, we don't know who is going to access our data, or where it is being stored, and how it is being stored. Everything is a question mark to us, because we don't know. We give our data to someone else whom we don't know, and we don't know where it is being really. So some securities issues will be there, obviously. And as far as cloud is concerned, it has huge space and everything is available. So as per your need, as per the consumer need, you're going to access those data. Okay, so cloud computing is basically used for storing the data and applications in the remote servers, or processing the data and applications on the remote servers, and accessing the applications and data in the remote servers. So without the interconnection, this cloud computing is not going to work. So even though if you're in different locations like USA or China or India or UK, if you put something in the internet, everybody can access it, right? So being in USA, I can access my application, and being in India also, I can access my application. So that is why it is called anywhere anytime. Okay, and the proper definition for cloud computing is the practice of using the network of remote servers hosted over the internet to store, manage, and process data, rather than a local server or the personal computer. Instead of having a local machine or the personal computer to store, process, and manage the data, you just go for something else which is hosted over the internet, okay, and then use it. That is all about cloud computing. So coming back, I told you like there will be some consumers and providers and brokers will be there. So this is the architecture that you could see. Okay, so a service consumer is the one who is going to use that particular service which is being provided by some provider. Okay, so what he does is he'll go just have a look, okay, find something in the directory which is being posted by the broker. Okay, so the broker will be acting as an intermediate between the service consumer and the service provider. Okay, so he'll just go find some services which has been already given, and he can invoke those services, and the services will be registered by someone called broker. And where does that broker get all these data from? Is obviously from the cloud service provider. Okay, so as far as this structure is concerned, we have providers, consumers, and brokers. The provider is the one who is going to provide all those details. Consumer is the one who is going to access all those details provided by the service provider, and broker is going to act as an intermediate between the service provider and the service consumer. So everything has to be given to the broker by the consumer as well as the provider. Okay, so this is one possible way. The other possible way is directly they can communicate. The provider and the consumer directly can communicate with each other, and they can share the details, and using the user credentials by authorization and authentication methods, the services will be provided to each and every consumers. Okay, so this is the overall architecture. And if it is also following some publish subscribe method, means who will publish is the providers. They'll publish the services which is available. Okay, and then subscribe is the one who is going to ask for the resources, right? So consumer will be subscribing for some resources from the provider. So they'll publish and subscribe so that the resources will be given on time. Okay, so as I told you, many security issues are existing in the current world. Okay, because of the data that is stored online is stolen by some hackers and attackers like that. But still more advantage, and people and all the government sectors, business people, all transformation has been moved on to cloud setup. So many providers are available, and this is all about cloud computing. Thank you.